You ever had a woman say, what is it that you're looking for, right? You'll often get that off a dating app, or if you made a cold approach and you're kind of in your opening messages. I think the first thing to understand is where that's coming from, like what the underlying translation of that really is. And all it really is it comes from women that are pretty much done with their party years, if I can put it that way. They're usually in their late 20s, sometimes very early 30s. They've been indiscriminate with their, let's say, sexuality during their early years. Some of you guys will use terms like carousel, fine, whatever, you guys get it. But she's usually done with her party years and trying to avoid getting sucked back into them. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not going to make a choice or an exception if she comes across a Giga Chad, because hypergamy can't afford to overlook that opportunity to have some fun with him. But generally speaking, what she's trying to do is trying to establish what kind of guy you are. So what category to put you in? Are you alpha seed or are you beta need? The later she gets into her epiphany stage, meaning she's come to the realization she needs to, cash out her cards and find the good guy to settle down with and have the 2.1 kids, the more apt she's going to be or hold back for, guys that are looking for a long-term relationship, maybe marriage, or indicate something like that. Now, with that being said, you can decide how it is that you want to respond to that, knowing why she's asking that question now. There was this interesting study done, and I'll throw this into the video because I think it's an important component of this, where I think it was done on a Red Pill subreddit or something like this, but they basically took stock photography from like a Calvin Klein underwear model, like a Giga Chad, so a 10 out of 10. They put it on a dating app with a bio that said something like he was criminally charged for molestation or something like that, did his time, got out of jail, wants to be a good guy, blah, blah, blah. And all these women swiped right on him, of course, because the optics, they ignored the bio. And then when he opened up the conversation, he was basically, let's hook up tonight, here's my address, come over now. And almost all of the women responded favorably to that. So you got to understand, they will make exceptions based on what they see you as on the sexual marketplace. A high value Giga Chad, if she's an estrus, if she's at that time of the month, is certainly going to overlook the, the no hookups. You guys leave a comment below. You tell me what kind of success you've had with that on dating apps, but you can decide how it is that you want to respond. Women aren't particularly honest with guys. Okay. So let's just deal with that part as well. They're not forthcoming and they're not particularly honest with the guys. They're somewhat duplicitous. They use the mating strategy of alpha seed, beta need. I've also learned recently while I was doing some research for my book that the instances of cuckoldry, meaning men that end up raising children that are not in fact theirs, are somewhere between 10 and 30%. So this is like married guys, dudes that are having kids with women that they think that they've knocked up. She's being deceptive and making him raise the kid, usually because he's the better financial choice for her. And that's just the way that, the sexual marketplace is. So you decide how it is that you want to handle women. At the end of the day, you don't know them. You don't owe them anything. You don't have to make any promises or claims. And honestly, the best thing really to do is to strategically just kind of blow it off. Okay. And it's like, well, I'm not really sure because I haven't seen it yet. That could be a response. I'm looking to meet somebody interesting that doesn't annoy me. That could be another interesting response. Depends on what your game looks like, what your sexual marketplace value is, will determine how it is that you're going to respond and how successful you'll be with the response. But the notion to remember is where it's coming from. And again, it's coming from a place of she's gone through her party years, she's hit the epiphany phase, she knows she needs to cash out her chips and find a good guy to lock down, and that's why she's asking you the question. You decide now how it is that you want to respond to that.